about this kind of movie in terms of relationships. I prefer things like this. Because I think it's always so romantic and it's always like that. But really, what makes a person tick in that relationship, whether it's romantic or not, is directly related to his relationships with the people before him, like his parents and stuff. So I think that's much more interesting. This is what makes a person him today, it's him before. I prefer him more than both.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations. We're excited to watch the post.
Thank you. And there's something about shooting a horror film, you know. I don't know about you guys. Of course, we love studios, but horror's the best. Okay, next up, from Daily Tribune, pakinggan naman natin ang mga katanungan mula kay Jeff Fernando. Over here.
Hi, good afternoon. Para kay Sid at saka kay Bea. Ayan. As actors, may difference ba yung paghahanda pag horror na eksena yung kukunan? And any favorite scene na dito sa Post House na gusto nyo kaming bigyan ng teaser para abangan namin pag pinanood namin? Iba ba yung preparation ng isang artista pag horror? At saka any favorite scene na abangan namin pag pinanood na namin yung Post House?
In terms of like creating the character, it's not much different naman kumpara sa ibang projects, right? Especially since it's much closer to reality when you do horror. It's just that mas emphasize yung flaws ng tao na yan. Ako kasi, a lot of the characterization happens with my director and my writer before the whole thing, and then it's finished off on the set when the costume's on, when I'm talking with my co-actors, when I see how they are, dun ko nakakompleto yung mundo ko. And that's the only time it happens. It's just as fun for me, but I'd be lying if I said it's not a little bit easier. It's kind of easier for me, at least this style of filmmaking. Kasi camera angles alone, it's really about building an atmosphere. And so really, in a horror shot like this, you just characters move, you're just bodies moving in a plane. It's not much here, so it's favorable. But at the same time, it's nakaka-excite. I don't really get to work in projects shot this way either. And that's really interesting. My favorite part is, I don't know if you know about it. You saw a snippet of it. It was Bea's close-up towards the end of her thingy. But that's probably my favorite because it was. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. There's this one-on-one scene that we have. It's my favorite.
Okay.
Because how do I explain this? No, it's how it was. It was how it was shot. I've never experienced relating with my co-actor or actress na ganun yung blocking. Tapos ang haba, and ang saya. And I think you feel the same way. Yeah, ganun na lang.
Okay, si Bea.
Ako po, preparation. Para sa amin, nag-script reading po kami syempre. So siguro yun na rin yung pagtatanong kina Direk kung about our characters, about our relationship, and the relationship between our other co-actors. And siguro po yung pag-prepare din ng mga pagsigaw. Kasi kunyari, syempre sa horror, maraming sigaw. So kapag nagtitake, tinatanong ko kina Direk, okay ba yung sigaw ko? Kasi minsan, nagiging sobrang tinis po ng boses ko. So baka kapag sa sinihan, nakakatulig na pala yung sigaw. So I parang naging very conscious po ako doon. Yung favorite scene ko, one of my favorites, is, kasi dito sa Post House, it's like a film within a film. So kung meron pong, yung kumbaga kung paano gumawa ng pelikula natin, like literal film, with a moviola, ano bang tawag doon? Moviola machine? Editing machine? Yung mga ganon. Kasi first time kong makakita ng ganon na umaandar, na kapag pinapanood mo yung film na gumaganon yung film, first time ko pong nakakita din nun. So, and it's nice also. Syempre yung mga generation, yung mga mas younger, di ba? Na magandang makita din nila kung paano gumawa ng mga pelikula noon. Na hindi lang puro digital. Ayan po.
Thank you and congratulations. Thank you.
Alright, very well said. Maraming salamat, Bea and Sid. Now, moving on to Lionheart TV, we have Richard Paglikawan.
Hello, good afternoon po. Yung first question ko kay Direk Nicolas, kasi siyempre as a first-time director, kumusta ka bilang director and may adjustments ba? Ano ba yung... And kumusta yung relationship mo with Direk Nick?
Towards the end ng shoot, actually, nung wrap-up. Kasi many of yung staff ko, nakatrabaho na rin yung kuya ko before. Ang unang tinanong ko sa kanila is, sino sa amin mas chill on set? Tapos, I think unanimously naman sabi na ako daw. And I think it just shows na how maybe I enjoyed it too much. No? I enjoyed yung process too much. Of course, being yung first ko, a bit passionate, syempre, I was experimenting a lot. No? But of course, being a studio film, then I had like responsibilities to think about. But as much as possible, I made it very mga priority talaga na just have as much fun sa first film ko. And so, of course, I don't want this to sound wrong, pero I found it easier than expected. Going into it, parang ang dami mong fears, anxieties, a lot of things would go wrong. But I don't know if it's sheer luck, no, or like, ang galing lang talaga ng team ko and actors ko that surprisingly it went really smooth. So, I'd like to say, parang even though I want to say na marami akong natutunan on set. Yung mistakes and problems that arose. Though very few actually happened or really learn that much. But the important thing is sobrang proud ako sa pinalabasan. I'm very, very happy with it. Being my first film. Yeah. And of course, yung parang adjustment period from being actually directing this type from being just an editor being viewing it on a screen. Iba na talaga kung pag nakikita mo na yung set with the actual actors being there.
How about Direk Nick? It wants to add something.
Yeah, gusto ko rin i-bring up yung observation nga namin sa set ni Nikos, very efficient, very mabilis, maaga mag-pack up. Nasusundan yung work hours, and yet very polished yung gawa. And I think a lot of the credit, syempre, sa vision ni Nikos, ang laking tulong na napaka-linear na yung nag-isip ng concept, yung nagsulat, siya na rin yung mag-edit, siya na rin mag-direct. So alam na niya yung kailangan niya na walang wasted shots or sequences. And yung team niya, na sobrang galing experienced team. Gusto ko rin i-bring up na yung producer lagi on set is si Iana Bernardes, na sanay na rin actress rin and producer, and sanay na rin siya sa mga very contained horror films. And nasusupport niya yung medyo auteur vision ng mga filmmakers. So, ang laking tulong ng team, and napakahirap gumawa ng genre movie, lalo na with limited resources dito sa Philippines. Ang daming moving parts, di ba? Compared to a drama, we have prosthetics, we have stunts, we have may film element pa, may props na very, di ba, mechanical, na ang daming kailangan. So, to pull it off as efficiently as they did, ang laking testament yun sa skill set talaga ng Filipino film workers, and doing it under the right, proper time frame where everyone gets to rest and do it well. I think ang laking win for a new filmmaker. So kunin namin si Nikos ulit.
Ayun, thank you and congratulations po.
Okay po. Next up, maraming salamat. Next up from Manila Bulletin, we have Bobby Requintina.
Hello, magandang hapon po. Questions for Sid and Bea. Question number 1. The trailer looks scary, ano? Nakakatakot ng trailer. Pero how scary is it sa set ng Post House ba? Kano ba siya nakakatakot? Kaya ba you get scared easily sa mga like kwento lang or ano, matatakotin ba kung kayo in real life?
Meron po eksena na parang kasi magugulatin po akong tao. Mabilis po akong tumili. Tsaka tumitili po ako. So hindi po siya... Basta parang hirap explain. Pero meron isang eksena na take kami, serious kami syempre. Tapos di ba may nahulog na something? Tapos po, as in nataranda po talaga ako, tumakbo po ako palabas ng camera. Nang tumitili. Sabi niya, sayang, sana nagamit natin. Kaya lang po yung hindi kasi, Ganun po, hindi po siya pang horror. Parang naging comedy. Pero yun, siguro yung mga ganon na gulat, na wala naman daw naghulog, hinulog. Wala siyang alam. Wala naman daw po nahulog lang daw bigla. So siguro, things like that. And, tsaka nakakatakot po talaga. Ang galing po nung production design. Kasi, parang with our location, they made...
Saan yung location niya?
Ayaw sana namin point. Baka
somewhere there. Pero with our location, they really, visualize, at hindi lang visual, talagang naramdaman talaga namin. Ang galing po nung, parang, I feel like it's very simple, pero ramdam and nakakatakot. Viva Cafe. Dito po kami nag-shoot.
Saka konti lang yung tao sa set kaya parang nakakatakot talaga dahil parang minimal lang yung...
Opo. Tsaka siguro yung nakakatakot din doon. Meron po kasi isang room doon na sobrang init. As in, para po habang nagtitake po kami, sauna. So parang tuwing papasok kami doon, ito na naman, gano'n. Pero wala namang scary po talaga.
Baka may isang
Same lang po talaga. Exactly the same. The location helped a lot. The lighting, especially the flickering, all the effects. Like I mentioned kanina, they had it down there. Alam na naman ang gagawin nila. So we literally just walked into the set and, dito ba tayo gagalaw? Okay. Gets na naman.
Okay, last question. Sa inyo dalawa ulit, Any personal encounter with the supernatural in real life? Like, what can you share?
Not so...
Sir Bobby, outside of shooting, you
Yes,
mean?
ma'am.
Okay, in your normal life.
Kasi ako yung type na kapag may narinig ako, I'll open the cabinet just to make sure. But there was this one time in college, and I'll never forget this because I was living in my tita's place sa may Ocobo, and I remember that house was built during the Japanese time. And can't explain it, man. I was lying down, queen-size bed, it door. It was right by my foot. It really felt like someone did this. Tapos hindi na ako makagising. I couldn't open my eyes. I needed to go to the bathroom. Hindi naman ako makagising until I fell asleep. The next day after school, I went to my cousin's apartment who used to live in that room. I was like, something happened last night. And he goes, why? No, because I was blah, 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 blah. He goes, no, po sa kama mo. Sabi na kausapin mo si Vernon, who's in the other room, who also lived in that place, and said the same thing. And I said, dude, Nikki told me to tell you about this thing in my room. Yung umuupo sa kama, dito mismo, kung ito yung door, dito siya umuupo. And I'm like, what is this? But that's it. I didn't get scared. I stayed there for another year and a half. It's fine. I put a bulul. You know those bululos? I put down rice nuts. And then I put a small offering. It never happened again. Yeah, that's it. That's the closest one I have.
Yeah.
Ako po kasi, mahilig po ako magtabi-tabi po. Tapos kapag kunwari merong parang medyo scary, mauunahan ko na po sila na matatakotin po ako. Tabi-tabi po, pataping lang po, pasensya na po. Mahilig po ako maganon kasi I I know na hindi lang naman tayo yung nagko-coexist in this world. That there are a lot of other entities and elements na kailangan din nating irespeto, kailangan din, kumbaga, respeto natin sila, respeto nila tayo. Pero inuunahan ko na po sila, matatakutin po ako, tabi-tabi po. Yan.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Maraming salamat.
Okay, maraming salamat po. We have a follow-up question lang from Sir Jojo of PEP. This is for Bea. Ano ang reaksyon mo nung makita mo yung very impressive poster of Post House?
Ang ganda po. Parang actually marami po, parang may isang version pa to na na-release, tapos ito. Nakakatuwa po. Siyempre nakaka-proud, nakaka-kilig. Nakaka-excite. And syempre, very, nakakataba po ng puso. And nakaka-excite talaga na odd po ninyo na mapanood po ng lahat. Very grateful po. Thank you po.
Okay, maraming salamat. Moving on to the Manila Times, we have Tessa Mauricio.
But we might want to stay for my question. Sorry. Good afternoon po. My question is for the two brothers. Well, besides really coming across as being passionate about your work, being very calm as well, you both do come across as very kind also and generous. I just wanted to know, first of all, being the younger brother, whose idea was it for you to finally direct? Pinush ka ba ng kuya mo, ng brother mo to, is it, tama ba? I'm assuming you're the older one. Were you encouraged by him to finally take the director's chair?
Yeah, I think naman it's been a long time aspiration of mine to at least make one feature film in my life. But aside from that, I guess that's also born out of certain frustration. Kasi minsan as an editor, and with my brother being the director, we work a lot of the editing room. So minsan medyo may konting clash dyan eh. Time to time. But of course, siya lang naman tao eh. Besides the fact that kuya siya. So, lagi naman dapat tama ang kuya. So besides that, it also came to a point na talagang isip ko, maybe if I make my film, maybe he could have like more confidence in my vision as well, even as an editor. And through that, maybe it would open more opportunity for us to be more collaborative with ideas. Since he also, at least ngayon, gets na rin niya kung ano yung vision ko as a director. Maybe we can apply that through the editing process. In fact, I'd like to say, I really have fun directing now. But right now, I'd say na editing pa rin talaga ang bread and butter. This is really my passion. And I'm really looking forward back to editing the films of my brother.
Usually, younger siblings or maybe a child who's, like a parent or brother, older brother is in the same business, so they really try to get out of the shadow of their elder relative. But in this case, you're actually creative producer for your younger brother. In that sense, how do you feel na, in his first big debut, talagang meron kang kasali ka talaga, and how, like you said earlier, you saw how efficient his set is. What other things actually impressed you in your brother's first time as a filmmaker?
To establish na si Nikos is his nickname from Nicolas, is younger, 93 siya, ako 91. So actually, maiksi lang yung agwat namin. So growing up, diba, syempre yung dad namin, director din, we were exposed to movies at an early age. Medyo, we watched the same movies, so very similar yung taste. Kaya medyo madali mag-collaborate and to reference, different films and ideas sa kanya. So growing up, very close naman talaga kami. So siguro yung big difference is I started mas independent films, yung Cinemalaya, Cinemanila, Q Cinema. And then medyo nagka-break ako sa mainstream, not doing more genre, horror, and then now Evolve Studios nga was born from yung we were very lucky with Deleter na we had a commercial success dun. So, ito yung parang new venture namin with Viva na mas focused in producing, medyo different na genre films. And to this new venture, we decided nga to parang finance yung passion project ni Nikos. So I guess yung big difference dito, no? And yung challenge rin kay Nikos is yung debut feature niya medyo iba yung system kasi it's under a studio. It's more challenging in a way kasi may binabalance ka, diba? And medyo big, veteran agad yung team, yung actors, and iba yung I guess yung pressure din. Kasi when you do independent films, medyo hindi mo pa iniisip yung commerce, na it's really just auteur passion projects, grants, na soft money lang. So, intense yung pressure and yung challenge kay Nikos. Pero I think yun yung na-admire ko na parang you can see na very enthusiastic and passionate siya, and he knows what he wants, and it's easier for him to kind of navigate yung buong industry. I think nakatulong na marami na rin siyang experience behind the camera as editor, sumasama siya sa mga film sets even before. So yeah, I mean, yun yung na-notice ko, parang experienced na siya, very experienced in a way, even though it's his first directorial job. I think ang laking tulong na he was exposed to films very early.
Pero did you, during the shoot, alam niyo mga kuya, mga nakakatanda minsan, di ba, if yung mas bata nandyan, did you have to reel yourself in from saying, ay, dapat ganito, dapat wala naman?
If ever may ganun, parang mas suggest na lang or whisper, and then I really let him have the final say, no?
Yeah.
Kasi parang mas sincere din. Lalo na I understand na pag debut film, for me, important na nandun yung stamp niya, no? Yung identity, yung signature. So, ayoko rin i-ruin yun, mawawala yung appeal. No? In fact, diba, yun yung lagi namin part din ng marketing din. It's his debut film, it's his vision. So, may authenticity doon, which I feel like very unique yun, mga first film ng mga directors, usually strong yung sense of style, yung identity. So, I think yun yung okay rin with this horror movie. We can guarantee na it's something original, something fresh. Kasi nga, when you're doing it a lot, minsan nagiging routine. Pero imagine mo someone who has these ideas na naluluto for decades. No? So parang ito yung highlight reel ng best ideas, best scares niya. And very close to him yung story. Kasi POV siya ng editor na nag-edit ng horror films, diba? Which is yung real life experience niya editing my horror film. So may authenticity doon na medyo mahirap i-replicate mo. So yun, very thankful rin sa Viva Films for financing something that's so personal, something you would probably see in a festival. In fact, after our commercial release, Post House actually na-select na siya sa mga international film festivals. So hopefully that shows yung merit na may sophistication yung material. And even though script stage pa siya, yung intention for this project was to go through the festival rounds. Kaya siya na Udine sa Italy, Far East Film Festival, nanalo na siya ng Vivo Award sa Osaka, sa Bifan, sa Bucheon, Korea. So may merit na yung script. So that's, I think yun yung nakatulong kung bakit easy siya i-green light and finance. So,
Direct, because follow-up lang, with this project being your first and being very, very special to you and very personal, earlier you said, before you found out na it wasn't as difficult as you expected not to be a director, pero what did it mean to you to have your kuya there? At least na-boost ba ang confidence mo? Meron, di ba, ano yung pakiramdam?
To clarify naman ito, hindi naman sa I found it easy to be.
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
It's more specifically lang.
Exactly, yeah.
It may see, of course, being the creative producer, he had to do set visits.
Yes.
Hindi ko naman siya like tinataboy or yung parang iniiwasan. The truth is, you didn't really have to micromanage much. Kasi more or less naman everything I learned naman about filmmaking. Natutunan ko naman sa So, I guess we didn't have the need to do that much.
Nakakatuwa kayong pakinggan dalawa with how you support each other. So. But just as a last question, this one may sound very elementary, but I just really noticed during sa trailer po, meron isang part doon na yung mukha ni Bea was so clear and the lighting was bright and so clear. And ako, that's something sometimes that I feel when I watch a horror film, di ba? Kahit yung hindi pa scary, madilim na rin. But is that something that your kind of horror does intentionally? Kasi lang na, it just really caught my eye that her face was like under, the light was bright, it was very clear. Because usually lahat madilim, di ba?
For the film being about, post-production facility na maraming like projectors, screens. Actually, medyo mixed media na yung film namin. It doesn't only deal with silent films, it also deals with like modern, digital, even mga 80s speeches, may mga ganun sa film namin. So it's really mostly yung screen medium projectors. So it's gonna deal a lot with light. In fact, many of our yung setting na, like room, photography room. So light really plays a huge deal.
It's very interesting to actually
play with shadow and light and shadow and contrast.
Very interesting kasi minsan pag sa horror, gusto mo lang ng konting ilaw to take a breath pag masyadong nakakatakot. But this is interesting to watch na maraming actual light scenes just out of the scare. So congratulations on the early successes already abroad and good luck on your first film. Congratulations also.
Okay, maraming salamat. Let's keep this good discussion going through Nurse Almo from GMA Entertainment.
Hello, good afternoon. Siguro kay Direk Mikael and Ricos. Medyo related sa question kanina. Since most of you sa family, marami sa family nyo nasa directing and I'm just curious paano kayo nagpapalitan ng mga ideas or sa bahay ba ganun kayo nag-discuss ng mga ideas about future projects?
That's naman sa family, again, malaki yung plan talaga namin yung against the Direct Ray. We also have in other departments that directing. Nag-iinom ito. Maski pa at saka sa mga nag-exchange kami ng ideas. Especially, of course, yung older generation din, si John before it used to be, them as adults, as kami, kids pa lang kami, we didn't really know that much about the baking. Pero they were already, in a way, guiding us towards there with their stories, mga kwento nila sa film sets. And eventually, they're into talking about future ideas, scripts, kahit yung mga very ridiculous plot lines lang in their heads, kinaganda lang. Kahit as a joke na minsan, pero nagiging actual about the future. But yeah, eventually, si Mick minsan became a director na rin, and siya na rin mismo yung either asking us, okay ba itong story na to, sometimes we pitch it to each other. Yeah, pretty much, mga family reunions. And we're very close naman, we go out and
I think yung unique rin sa clan namin, yung Red Clan, maraming directors, production designers, even cinematographers, art directors. Very diverse yung taste and appreciation sa cinema as a whole. Like, di ba, we do small budget indies, we do mainstream genre. At the same time, yung dad namin nag-experimental Super 8. And meron kaming very technical rin na profession na editing, cinematography, production design. And we are also film fans. We like watching movies. We have the time, diba, to watch a lot of movies kahit medyo current and luma. So, parang walang elitism, walang parang snob sa tastes namin. Halo-halo talaga. And now, even yung newer generation, Reds, mga gamer. So, in a way, parang younger sibling ng cinema yung gaming, diba? It's all of the art forms combined, like literature, photography, acting, theater, all combined. Ngayon may interaction pa with the player. So, mas At diba, lahat yun na discuss namin sa mga reunion, inuman. So very, I think proud kami na we're really passionate and enthusiasts. No? We do it because we love doing it. No? And then medyo, parang, in a way, naging career na rin. Pero it all starts from our sincere love of the process, the craft in all its forms. No? Even TV commercials.
Okay, thank you. My second question is for Bea. Bea, ito parang pangatlong horror film mo na to within a year, no? Tapos paano ka nag-switch? Kasi meron ka rin pa-sweet na university series. So, paano ka nag-switch ng characters?
Oo nga po sabi ko nga parang puro horror. Nakakatakot siguro ako. Charot. Hindi, pero I'm just very grateful po. Kasi syempre, kapag binigay ang isang proyekto sa'yo, naniniwala sila at nagtitiwala sila na kaya mong gawin yung proyektong yun. So, ibig sabihin, nakikita nila ako as someone na hindi nakakulong sa isang genre. So, I'm just very grateful. Yung pong mga horror naman na nagawa ko, I think it's really very different from each other. Yung Nocturno, syempre mas probinsyana, mas neat. Yung mga roles talagang iba po Yung sa Pasahero, it's a different kind of horror din. Parang it's all in your mind. Parang yung takot, minsan nanggagaling talaga sa sarili mo. So I think, yung in terms of mga projects po ng horror, magkakaiba po talaga. And nakaka-excite po. Sana kapag malay mo, next time may project ulit ang Evolve. Why not? Pero yun, yung pag-switch naman po, I think hindi naman kasi sila sabay-sabay. In fact, itong Post House, we did this right before we started Totoy Bato. So, kumbaga, hindi naman sila masyado pong nag-overlap. And then sa University series naman, I think yung character ko rin si Via is always someone in me. Kasi lagi kong sinasabi sa mga interviews na malapit naman talaga yung character ni Via sa akin. And yun, ang tagal niya eh. Parang yung 6 books, if mag-stay po ako sa project na yun, baka wala na po akong work, diba? So syempre, parang it's part of the job na matuto kang mag-on-off, magpalit-palit kung nasaan ka. Minsan, honestly, naninibago po. Parang magugulo ng, sino nga ako today? Mga ganun lang naman. Pero hindi naman siya in terms of like yung karakter mismo. Kasi naayos naman po sa schedule eh. And I'm just very grateful po for work. Thank you po.
Alright, maraming salamat po for those questions. Now from the Inquirer, let's hear from Alan Policarpio.
Hi, good afternoon. For Mick tsaka kay Nico. Curious lang ako, do you have earliest memories or fondest memories of seeing your dad at work and parang did that awaken something in you or inspire you na someday gusto ko gawin?
So actually, sa plot din naman nun, sa about the father and daughter, obviously it's inspired by our own experiences with our dad. I remember, of course, syempre medyo gory to, so hindi naman ganun ka true to life na mangyayari ba, akala nyo, is life na. Pero yun, I remember, my very early memory of seeing my dad editing on a, I think it was Steam deck, or it's one of those flatbed movie editing machines. Parang balat na balat siya sa parang film. Doesn't siya hectic or busy. Or I think I saw a photo of it, things like that. That actually gave me one of the parang visual inspirations for one of the scenes in the film. But yeah, we grew up looking up to our dad. So, and to be honest, it took me a while longer before deciding that more or less follow his footsteps. He made the course earlier, he already found this passion. But yeah, just, and I think one of the advantages that being with our dad being a filmmaker growing up was na-expose na kami very early on sa films. So our dad would let us watch ng mga art films natin, even mga classic Filipino films. That, of course, it's a big part of who we are today.
Ako yung earliest memory ko ng set, actually, I think mahanap nyo pa sa YouTube pero nung 90s kasi si Dad, sinunod niya yung music video ng Kaleidoscope World ni Francis M. Tapos may scene kasi doon, di ba, yung banda ni Francis M, may flashback, nagiging kids sila sa may lake. Kami yun mga toddlers kami ng cousins ko, yung babata namin. May running shot doon so pinapatakbo kami. 4 or 5 years old daw. Tapos nadapa ako. Tapos parang na-injure ako, parang na-stop yung shoot na dadala ako sa hospital. Tapos nag-stitches ako. So yun yung earliest memory ko, medyo traumatic. Pero yun, after that, okay naman. Siguro yung challenge lang was yun, medyo early on, ang serious agad ng movies na papanood namin. Like, parang elementary ako, nanood na kami. Clockwork Orange. And may mga scenes doon na bakala. Pero yun, dahil doon, nagka-appreciation talaga kami sa films. No? Parang early on, apocalypse now agad.
Laserdisc pa yun pero pinag pa sa amin, Dawn of the Dead, yung 1970s. Tapos wala pa kaming concept nun kung ano yung zombie. Pero basically, first time namin makita ng set.
Yung kinagat yung elbow.
May asawa, kinagat yung part ng asawa. Traumatized to.
Pero interesting kasi nga, at least expose ka na rin dati mo kaagad influences, references. So, yun, mga early days namin, meron kaming high 8 na camera before mini-TV, no? Sinushoot ko na rin si Nikos Tapos, nagsushoot edit lang ako nun, wala pang movie maker. I think yung earliest short film namin, Metamorphosis na ginawa namin siyang caterpillar. So may pillow cover sa ulo. And then cut to, naging cocoon. Tapos cut to, parang mga ganun na simple short films sa house. And then eventually naging mga high school project. Early days ng YouTube, 2008. Nag-upload na kami ng mga banda music video ng Kamikaze Narda. Cover nila, drummer siya. Tapos yun, mga shorts, mga zombie na classmates lang, tapos yung Dugo, Ketchup. And then yeah, eventually nag-gawad CCP, Cinemalaya, naging more focused, more serious. So yeah, very, talaga, parang filmmaking was always, in the household, and naging hobby and obsession siya for us.
So kayo pala sa bahay ng bata kayo, gumagawa na kayo ng sarili yung
mga home video. Sayang na, yun nga yung problem dahil bilis ng technology, hindi na baback up lahat kasi lahat yung mga high 8, tapos naging mini-DV, may times pa na Betamax yan. And then eventually, naging DSLR, tapos yung digital. So, hindi namin nasa-store lahat. So, siya yung mga lumang short films.
Pero paano yung presence ng father niyo growing up and right now? May pagka stage father ba siya in a way? Or is he parang does he criticize your work? Parang gano'n, very...
Until na... talaga Well, I guess, for recent times kasi, first film ko ba sa ito actually hasn't even watched this yet. So, most of the times, really, yung novels ni Nick yung pinapanood. So, it's more on yung criticism na
or nakakasama namin siya, usually mas other pop culture hobbies. Toy con, kasi yun G.I. Joe collector, toy collector namin. So, nakakasama namin sa other hobbies. Or pag may, I don't know, kung may big movie lang, nanonood kami ng F1, pag pag may big movie, din namin siya nakakasama to watch. Pero rarely siya, on set, on itong whole evolved outfit, mas kami ni Nikos. Kasi siya mas teaching na siya ngayon and TV commercials talaga yung bread and butter niya.
So he doesn't necessarily follow or give unsolicited advice, things like that.
Very different rin yung films niya kasi mas
to be fair, siya naman director of photography sa isang tanda.
Oh yeah, yun yung first ever we were very excited nga na finally na may on-set experience kami together. Yun yung editor and cinematographer si Dan and director sa Lilim.
Nasa lang best advice that you guys learn from your that you apply in your craft.
Kahit yung more related on film.
Okay.
I think hindi pa nila napapagod to, pero I think we watched some of my short films before. Tapos parang, hindi pa ako editor nun, pero parang it's more generally short film. Di ba naman napurinan lang siya sa films ko, or it's more about pacing talaga, or how to say as much as you can in the like, especially for short films. And na-apply ko rin naman yung sa filmmaking din. Sa Hollywood.
Ako yung, siguro yung lagi naman advice and sinabi rin, you know, from ni Dad na just be sincere, no? Know what you want to tell, know why you're doing it, and then, you know, kung genuine ka naman, sincere, everything becomes easier. Parang it won't feel like work, diba? Kasi you're really, it's your truth, diba? Kahit genre yan, kahit horror yan, kung mas smuggle mo ngayong ideas mo, yung story that you want to tell, it's easier, sincere.
Salamat.
Okay, maraming salamat. Thank you to the Red Brothers for sharing that. Okay, next up, we are near the end, ladies and gentlemen. Last two na lang from Maganda Ba Movie. Let's hear from Mark Magadia.
Hi guys, sa cast muna, kay Bea and kay Sid, yung question ko is, pwede niyo munang introduce yung mga characters ninyo and ano yung similarities ng characters ninyo sa inyong sa sarili. Kaya ganun. What makes you excited to portray them?
Good afternoon po, pina-follow ko po kayo. Nilalike ko po yung interviews.
Okay.
Ako po dito si Rhea. Ako po anak ni Cyril. She's very into arts. Isa siyang wannabe editor also like her father and director. Tapos, kumbaga, galing siya sa isang very film-related family with her lolo and father into doing films. Pero siya, very dedicated siya and gusto niya talaga sa sarili niya na makilala siya, hindi dahil sa last name niya, hindi dahil sa pamilya niya, pero dahil sa skills at sa sarili niya.